Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kirill. I'm a product marketing manager of Tech Global. Today, our topic is dedicated to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a very hot and important topic nowadays, and it's a logical continuation of previous 2 days when we've been discussing smart city and industry 4.0 solutions. The truth is, the more digitalized and online your business become, the more weak points and vulnerabilities uncover for cyber criminals. And cyber criminals, activists, they have no borders. That's why country to country mutual collaboration and knowledge exchange and experience transfer vital for today's development. And the more digitalized and online business become, business or city or production become, uh, the more vulnerabilities landscape uncover for cyber criminals. That's why when we talk about smart city and industry 4.0, the next point we need to discuss is cybersecurity. And today we will discuss opportunities and challenges for today's reality and how mutual collaboration of Russian and Malaysia countries can solve them. Um, we will start from the introduction of Victor Law, head of cybersecurity in MEDEC. After that, we'll have two another introduction. Then we'll transfer to our vendors. That's how it looks like. Please be prepared in couple of half an hour. And now, Victor Law, please welcome.
Hi, thank you for the introductions. My name is Victor Low. I'm from MDEC, Malaysia Economic Operations. All right, so I think without further ado, this is just a very good timing. I think is that this is the best timing that we should discuss about the subject of cybersecurity. And nevertheless, is that I think most of us today is working from home with the new conditions of what we call new normal. These have definitely affect how business operates and how it changed or shaped the landscape of cybersecurity, right? What I'm going to do next is that I'm going to go through a very quick introductions of where we are in terms of cybersecurity in Malaysia. So in terms of directions that where we're heading and how the country will evolve in the next 4 or 5 years, right? I hope everybody can see my screen right now, right? The topic that I'm going to share for this afternoon is leading the industry of cybersecurity forward from 2020 to 2024. And very much the information I will share in the next 10 minutes is very much related to data that we have gathered from the market, area of opportunities, and of course is that the direction of the country with regards to cybersecurity strategies. So on this topic of leading the cybersecurity industry for 2024, right? We have recently launched, which is by our communication minister, Dr. Saifuddin. And what happened is that during the launch, it was actually a former launch of Malaysia's security strategies for 2020 to 2024. And this strategy will be led by NACSA. NACSA is actually our lead agencies for cybersecurity that will lead this next 5-year strategies forward. And nevertheless, is that there's a multiple stakeholder that is quite significant in these strategies. So MDEC will play a very important role in terms of industry development of cybersecurity, where BAMPU will be the organization that will be looking to the infrastructures of the government. MCMC were very much into the area of regulating the communication industry, and of course is to keep the cyberspace content secure, right? And I think we can never discount the business side of it, whereby if everyone understands the landscape of small medium enterprise in Malaysia, 40% of GDP contribution actually from SME sector. And we see that this is a very important sector to protect and grow, because is that in the future, potentially that the SME sector will contribute about 50% in the next 10 years. That is the projection that we have today, right? So what you can see here today is that it's not only the strategies that we have a respective agency that play a very significant role in order to secure. We have good strategies to ensure the country is safe from cyber attacks. So we have a safe government, we have a safe ICT communications, and we have a safe SME enterprise operations model, right? So what are we referring to if we are looking at this cybersecurity as an industry? In terms of market spending, this is the most recent data that we have from IDC. Six contributions from cybersecurity spending for the next few years. By 2024, we're looking at about 632 billion in Malaysia. So that's roughly about 160 or 170 billion US dollar cybersecurity spending, right? If just look at the landscape of growth today, is that with context of 12.5% compound annual growth rate, we are looking at about 2 times of ICT growth rate, right? So what we can see here is that cybersecurity spending actually is double the growth of ICT spending. So which is quite significant for industry, right? And nevertheless, I think with this growth of the industry, there will be a significant growth of job opportunities, right? So Malaysia project to have about 18,000 job opportunities by 2024. So where we are right now is that we're looking about 2020, we have about 9,000 to 10,000 of cybersecurity professionals in this industry. Right. So then the second subject will be is that what are we in terms of market job opportunities? Per capita ratios, I think is that we're looking about 1 cybersecurity professionals for every 3,000 professionals today, right? Compared to a doctor today, is that one doctor is equivalent to about 150 patients. So what we believe is that by the next 10 years, we should have significant growth of job opportunity in this area, because the need of cybersecurity as an industry will grow significant for the next 10 years. And within the market landscape per se, we are the second largest market in the ASEAN. And by GDP wise, is that Malaysia is not the second largest. I think is that in terms of job, in terms of market opportunity, actually is that is significant growth in Malaysia, and potentially is that we should see a lot of good technology or service company that can actually produce from Malaysia that could expand to the region. And at the same time also is that we're looking for a lot of this new investment coming into Malaysia, and be able to use Malaysia as a hub to expand into Southeast Asia. Right. So this is a quick snapshot of cybersecurity landscape in Malaysia for the next 5 years. Right. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to take you through for next 10 minutes, very much into the cybersecurity strategies that recently launched about 7 days ago by our Prime Minister. And we'll play a very short video to introduce to you about the cybersecurity strategies. Right. So just for some of you maybe quite new to these strategies, actually, is that this strategy is going to be put in action from year 2020 to year 2024. And government actually allocate about 1.8 billion ringgit Malaysia. So if you put it to US dollar, probably about 200 to 500 million US dollar spending that's going to help and assist this to carry out the action plan of these strategies, right? And we have our what we call that the national cybersecurity policy that was developed more than 10 years ago. So this actually is a good direction that we're moving. I think is that potentially is that there's a lot of opportunity that the audience in this call could benefit from. I'll go through one by one on those strategies. Right. So what is the vision of this strategy? Very much is that I think we know that when we push a lot of strategies into transforming the country into more digital, a lot of digital efforts been put in plan right now, where we want to grow our businesses, we want to grow our government to be more digital savvy. So at the same time, also we want to ensure that the Malaysia cyberspace actually is secure and trusted and experienced for the fostering of economic prosperity and citizen well-being. I think we see that this is a need that we want to put our mission or vision forward. So what are those strategies? In terms of pillar number one, so we have 5 pillars of strategies that we will execute as a country for these next 5 years. So the first one will be effective governance and management, right? So what is the effective governance and management? I think is that there is a lot of there's 3 strategies that relate to this pillar. Basically, the direction of this pillar number one is that how do we develop a good controls of cybersecurity operations, right? We know that we put a lot of infrastructures, we put a lot of digital assets, right? I think the next thing is that how do we make sure that our operations of cybersecurity in all these environments actually is secure? And nevertheless, is that our government understands is that it's not to ensure the government's security only, but it's to ensure the businesses' security also, including the small business enterprise. So that's the objective of pillar number one. As for pillar number two, I think is that if we can keep our business secure, or you can keep our what we call that government operations secure, the next thing is that how do we coordinate the enforcement agencies around, or how do we improve our legislative framework, right? So I think this way the areas that we want to put in effective controls in terms of policies to protect our government and citizen interests, right? At the same time, also we want to look into policies that we can help to what we call that improve our investment opportunities. So so the pillar number one very much into securing of the operations. Number two will be more towards how do we create policies or framework to shape our what we call it enforcement and to facilitate our operations. And thirdly, of course, is that we in order to move forward for the future, I think is that we need to improve our own capability in terms of developing the cybersecurity solutions and technologies. And of course, is that in the area of services, right? So there'll be effort in order to and I'm the first one already. There'll be effort to look into what we call that how to develop a national dependency on local technologies or services to protect some of these critical assets that we have or strategic assets that we have for the countries. So this is for pillar number 3, catalyzing the world-class innovation technologies. And pillar number 4, of course, is that once we have the operations, when we have the legal framework, once we have the technologies, we want to make sure that we have good capacity and capability planning for the country. So as a country, you know that we are not different from any of the country out there, right? We have shortage of professionals, but I think is that we have a very good strategies to how to overcome those gaps. And as what I shared earlier is that we are looking at about 18,000 cybersecurity professionals by the next 5 years. And we already have a very comprehensive plan to build those kind of capacity. right? So that's in terms of cybersecurity professionals, right? Nevertheless, I think is that in the capacity and capability planning also is that we have a good strategies to approach what we call that awareness to the businesses, awareness to the citizens, and how in order to keep their cybersecurity experience secure and safe, right? So this is the what we call that pillar number 4 is enhancing capacity and capability and building awareness for educations, right? So what I just explained, what I just introduced is 4 major pillar: the operations or governance of cybersecurity, the legislative, the innovations and technologies, the capacity and capability, right? So these are the 4 key areas in order to drive the industry or the ecosystem forward. Of course, the 5th one is where the objective of we have this call today is that strengthening our global collaborations. I think it's that today the big guys is out there. It's not between us, right? So I think it's very important to ensure that the strategies that we have will be able to work with the other country, the other partners outside our boundary in order to develop the next what we call that next framework that will be able to help to protect our interests, right? So strengthening global cooperation definitely is some of the things that I believe, especially in the cybersecurity space, this is the area that should be priority and should be strengthened from time to time, right? So this call is very important. That's why I said I think is that not only we have the government to government G2G partnerships, we also need to make sure that we have opportunities for businesses to interact, because is that we believe that when you look at cybersecurity, it's not only the government operations, it's how to help the business to business collaborations, right? So that's what we have for pillar number 5. So in short, what we can see here today is that it's a very comprehensive strategies that we have put forward for the country. And as what our chief executive of National Cybersecurity Agency quoted during the launch, right? We need to work together towards a trusted cybersecurity environment in Malaysia, because we know that we can't do this alone. We need our own people to get together. We need all our support that we can get from our global partners, right? And just a quick introduction also, some of you probably been informed, right? There is upcoming what we call that cybersecurity conference that's supposed to happen this year, but unfortunately because of the new normal, we can't do it. But that will be delayed to next June, which is what we call that Malaysia largest international conference, right? And this conference is called CIDES 2021, right? So I encourage everyone in this call take note of this event, and this is the platform that we can actually what we call that improve our collaborations, not only for government to government but also to business, right? Take note of this event for those of you who are interested, right? So those are the quick introductions that we have for you in what you call that the Malaysia cybersecurity landscape. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for your presentation and overview of your cybersecurity strategy. I believe this strategy shares a lot with our Russian cybersecurity approach. Thank you very much. And I think we'll discover a lot of common during today's session. And please welcome the next speech will be by Philip Levov, leading cybersecurity specialist of Bison. Philip, you are welcome.
Yeah, hello, colleagues. My name is Philip Levov. I'm cybersecurity specialist at Bison company. And today I'm going to present about cybersecurity problems, opportunities, and threats in Russia. And first of all, I would like to thank you Tech Global and Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation for the opportunity to be a part of this important session. So obviously 2020 has changed the entire world. The pandemic has limited physical contacts and freedom of movement. And in this case, people assistance from different technologies. A lot of important processes have moved to online forever. So digitalization is the area that is growing extremely fast. As known many years ago, Nathan Rothschild said, who owns the information owns the world. However, nowadays, I would say the one who is in step with digitalization owns the world. Unfortunately, digitalization increasingly provides new opportunities for cyber criminals. According to the World Economic Forum statistics, cyber attacks and data theft ranked first place among global anthropogenic risks, and ninth place in the list of possible causes of a global crisis. It is not a big surprise that it may lead to a dramatic loss of money. And to be precise, $90 trillion are forecasted losses for the global economy from cyber attacks by 2030. Currently in Russia, the statistics in terms of money losses is also not 100% positive. As you can see, losses from cyber attacks in 2019 were $32 billion. And on top of that, the forecasted losses for 2020 is $45 billion. And to conclude with numbers, the Sberbank statistics predicts that due to pandemic, the losses may grow in 2 times in 2021. Getting back to real cases, Russian real cases, lots of companies were forced to transfer employees to remote working and moved their operations to virtual infrastructure, virtual environment. And 23% of the companies were not ready to react immediately and had to use different open source solutions. But however, some of them contain critical vulnerabilities. In this slide, I would like to introduce some of the cybersecurity trends. And first is targeted ransomware attacks, which is the main threat to industry and healthcare organizations. Also, cybercriminals are increasingly using Internet of Things, IoT devices, to carry out attacks. And for instance, one of the biggest attacks was created using 1 million IoT devices. Also, banking Trojans continue to be a significant threat to a lot of organizations. Also, cybercriminals' focus shifted from individuals to different corporations and governments. And of course, phishing is also the main attack vector still. Obviously, the world faced a lot of problems with cybersecurity even before this pandemic, and most of them typical for the entire world, but I would like to mention a few of them. And first of all, it's a low level of cyber literacy. Secondly, it's a poor data exchange between organizations. So lack of communication and data exchange regarding relevant cybersecurity, criminal cybersecurity attacks between the companies is a huge problem. Next is quite known points for any CISO, the unawareness of the boards and insufficient cybersecurity budget for security solutions, for security practices. And last but not least is the lack of crisis management procedures. However, nowadays we realize these weak spots and aim to react effectively on those triggers. So it's very important to improve the level of cybersecurity awareness of each employee, of all line staff, not only cybersecurity specialists. The second big thing is international collaboration. So threat intelligence data exchange is one of the key factors that helps to prevent cyber attacks. Implementing security by design. So security by design is the opposite of security after fact. So instead of testing the security of a system when it's done, information security is built in from the very beginning. So this should reduce costs and mitigates a lot of risks. And of course, a lot depends on top management. They definitely should pay more attention to the security problems and must allocate sufficient budgetary resources to implement and increase the level of cybersecurity. So in conclusion, I would like to emphasize that cooperation cooperation, collaboration, and exchange data between different countries, and so between Russia and Malaysia, will increase the level of cyber resilience for both. So collaboration is the key in defending cyber threat. This is all. So thank you very much, colleagues. So hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you for the overview and the view from the Russian side. I'm very happy that during our first two presentations, the collaboration is one of the key points. I believe that that it is, and that's our event is dedicated to collaboration between Russian and Malaysian companies. And the next speaker is Karina Ong, the CEO of Russian-Malaysia High Technology Center. Karina, please welcome.
I'm Karina, CEO of Russia-Malaysia High Tech Center. I hope you can see my presentation slides well. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting RMHTC today. It's going to be a short presentation about RMHTC. As a background, RMHTC is funded privately and is supported by ASET, as well as Russia Trade Representative Office in Malaysia, which is headed by Mr. Nikita Ponomarenko, which I believe most of you knows him. While ASETS, or Technological Sovereignty Export Association, is a non-profit organization in Russia, which focuses on critical infrastructure and information technology sector. So as we all know that Russia is one of the most technological advanced country in the world. It has advanced technology ranging from supercomputer, ICT and cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, aerospace, and more. Besides, Russia continues to promote its technology via its University R&D Center of Excellence. And currently, RMHTC is exploring with Scotech on 5G and 6G communication for Malaysian market. So our vision is to be the hub of Russia high tech in ASEAN. We will be the accelerator for Russia-Malaysia collaboration in entrepreneurship and education, using Malaysia as a springboard for expansion to the rest of ASEAN. RMHTC focuses on Industry 4.0, or the fourth industrial revolution. And we have chosen 7 key topics to start with, namely green technology, telecommunication, cybersecurity, 3D printing, medical tech, mobility, and robotics. However, we are also open to other high-tech areas beyond these 7 topics. So today, RMHTC is the Center of Excellence for Cybersecurity Technology, where we provide product localization, support, and training. Product and services ranging from endpoint security to quantum cryptography. We are also running Cyber School as a training and development platform. Some of these are joint effort with our top-notch Russian cybersecurity companies, and some of it with our universities. So just to share some past successful event, is one of it was the conference on smart cities and e-government, and the other one is participation on the cyber polygon training. So in addition to entrepreneurship, RMHTC is also into academic collaboration with universities. One of our recent event where we involved a famous university, Tom State University in Russia, and our Tunku Abdul Rahman University College in Malaysia, where the discussion area includes green technology, biomedical, and some other topics. So jointly with the private organization and agencies, RMHTC will create a platform for networking, for business matching, as well as accelerator program. So currently, we are also planning for early introductory of high technology for our younger generation. This will promote their interest in technology and creativity. This program will be collaborated with our high-tech companies from Russia. in certain areas like Russian maths and science, drones, and robotics. So here are some of our upcoming events for 2020 and 2021. Medical Tech Forum, Digitization in Education Virtual Business Mission, Smart Grid, Cyber School, Drones for Kids, Telco and 5G Technologies, Russian Maths and Science. So do feel free to contact me for some of this event. And just to end my presentation, here are the few entities, organizations, and companies that RMHTC is currently working with. And thank you for your attention. I hope to hear from some of you soon.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for the overview of Russian-Malaysia Technology collaboration. I'm glad to be the part of it and that our event is a part of this collaboration. Thank you very much. And now I think we can proceed with the Russian-Malaysia cybersecurity software companies. And I would like to remind you that every presentation is limited to 10 minutes. Please stick to this time. So we would like to leave a couple of minutes for questions after each presentation. And the first one will be Alexei Pinchuk and from Search Inform. Welcome, Alexei.
Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to apologize for my voice. It might be breaking sometimes, but it's not because of the internet connection, but because I'm a bit ill. Got a bit of sore throat, so I might sound different. Sorry for that. So let us start. Just a few words about the company before I start presenting our solutions. Search Inform is over a quarter of a century in the IT market. We are over 15 years into information security, primarily focusing on insider threat management. We got over 3,000 clients across the globe now, and over 2 million PCs are under control of our software. Now, the first questions that we want to raise in front of you is, what are the major risks of any company? Why would we even talk about insider threat management inside the section of cybersecurity? We all definitely understand that these days every other cyber attack is supported from the inside of the company, and that's only one of the reasons why any business should introduce more and more instruments to get more controls over what's happening inside the company. Okay, so we all understand that these days the business has become so much digitalized. There's so much information we produce on a daily basis that it's hardly believable that any person who's in charge of information security inside a company could handle all the controls alone, and especially if he does it manually. Again, depending on the size of the company and depending on the maturity of the company, there's a lot of departments who could be potentially in charge of information security and different aspects of it. What could happen to the business if, in case it will lack controls of information security, is theft, accepting kickbacks, your employees could get headhunted, your clients could be lured away, and so on and so forth. What are the tasks that such kind of software should be able to help you solve corporate fraud detection, database activity monitoring. Definitely, that's where we keep all of our sensitive information, compliance to local and international legislation, compliance to internal company policies, risk assessment and mitigation of as many risks as possible. Automated profiling, if that's possible, could definitely help to improve the controls and better understand your employees. Software and hardware monitoring is one of the very good things to have in place, because these days every company has the policies related to software that the employees can use or cannot use at their work. And hardware theft is one of the typical frauds that we encounter all over the world. What could what could be brought to the table in case if we lack monitoring, if we lack operational control in the company? Leakage of sensitive information, hardware theft, as I mentioned before, drop in performance, especially in cases like now when more and more employees are working remotely, and that's not the issue of a country-wise related or a personality thing. It's just a human. We all know that employees are only somewhere around 70% effective while they are working from the office. Just imagine how much their productivity could drop in case we all go remote. Well, I guess we can look at ourselves and understand it. As soon as we get closer to our refrigerators and our TVs, the productivity drops automatically. This is the range of products that we currently offer to our partners and clients. The Risk Monitor, the DLP, Time Informer, which is a product allowing you to simply monitor productivity and time tracking. Really, really efficient and really needed tool required from the market these days in the times of COVID-19. CM, File Auditor, Database Monitor, and a Profiling Center, which is a great solution, allowing to understand your employees much better. Now, how do we evaluate performance? What do we want to discover while doing the investigation? What measures can we take to minimize risks, especially productivity and especially operational control risks? First of all, I'd like to introduce the solution called Risk Monitor. It's a comprehensive risk management platform that combines the features of a traditional data leakage prevention tool that allows you to monitor data at movement. It also has the features allowing you to get the controls of data at rest, the productivity and time tracking tool, the tool allowing you to do some user behavior and user entity behavior analytics, allowing you to understand better how exactly people feel while working in your company, how loyal they are to the company, how do they estimate the product that your company produces, and so on and so forth. And the last but not least are the instruments of the investigation, which we usually call the forensic suite, which allow you to get an understanding of not only who was the executor of the particular fraud, leakage, or whatever happened, whatever information security incident happened inside the company, but also get a comprehensive view of what followed and what were the roots to this information security incident, find out who else participated in it, discover full details of it, and try to prevent the same in the future. Are you going back to the office? Are you planning to go back to the office, or are you staying remote till now? This is the question that might define the next few things that I'd like to reveal. Our company is pretty flexible. We are now starting to offer our services on cloud, which helps you to save costs, which does not require you to spend a lot of money on buying expensive hardware. We are also allowing for subscription instead of buying perpetual licenses of our solution. That's why, depending on which strategy is chosen by your economists and accountants, whether it's more CapEx or OpEx, you could decide which one suits you best. Next solution I'd like to present is called the File Auditor. It helps you to solve the following tasks. First of all, it's compliance to existing international and local legislation. Secondly, it helps you to audit access rights to sensitive information and find that information out. As the slide shows, this is the architecture of the solution. Basically, it's pretty simple. It allows to send the information from the agents on the PCs and the workstations, and the exchange folders on the servers to the main server, search server, which looks for sensitive information in there, finds it out, tags it real nice for your convenience, identifies who exactly has access to that information. It reveals the access rights and shows you who has the rights to do so and who didn't have the rights to do so, allows you to manage it real quick. The solution also allows you to archive several iterations of those files, and thus allows you to retrieve those files back in case they get lost or unintentionally deleted, for example. And it also allows you to monitor all file activity, starting from opening to renaming, editing of those files, and so on and so forth.
Alexei, I'm afraid your time is up. Thank you for your presentation. I believe it's a really important topic for today's situation, today's economy, where a lot of people are working out of office, and remote monitoring becomes vital. Please feel free to contact Alexei for further details. And we proceed to the next speaker. It's Peter Frank of S5 System. Peter, please welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this presentation. I represent S5 Systems. So, S5 Systems, we are a company that started in 2006, and we are a MDEC MSc company, as well as recognized as a potential global icon since 2010, where we have the potential to go internationally. We are a bit different from the other cybersecurity solutions out there, where we focus primarily on identity, secure identity, trusted identity. In Malaysia, we have done multiple projects, such as with the Immigration Department, the Home Affairs, the Prison Department, and internationally as well, we provide pre-clearance security checks. we do identity card solutions. The company and its product has been multiple award winning. So we won the best security product in Malaysia and also internationally. And we also have been recognized by IBM as a solution partner that provides smarter planet solution for the government space. This is a snapshot of where we are internationally and our project achievement to date. We are operating in more than 4 continents. We have 60 operation centers around the world. And to date, we have processed more than 170 million biometric records, when we also issued more than 100 million government ID. Altogether, right now, we are supporting about 300 sites locally and internationally. What do we do? Our core solution is in the area of border control. As I said, it's not traditional cybersecurity, but nevertheless, in border control situation, immigration, where travelers are going in and out of the country, this is one of the most important checkpoints to ensure that only good travelers enter into your country. And also, those travelers who are not supposed to leave are prevented from leaving. So to do that, you need a very good identity management solution to do checking versus international blacklist, such as from Interpol, whether the person is wanted, has a stolen passport, so on and so forth. So this is where we have the entire suite of solutions that does advanced passenger pre-clearance before they travel, up to the visa application. Upon arrival, when they arrive at a country, we have automated border control e-gates, and we also have manual system to be used by the officer at the counter to process a traveler who is coming into a country, whether it's a local or it's a foreigner. And this is also done using multimodal biometrics such as fingerprint, facial, and iris. Upon entering the country, our suite of systems will handle things such as visa extension, conversion into a work permit, and stolen passport report, and so on, together with an enforcement module to allow the officers and the government to track whether there is an overstayer, the person has violated his permit, such as working when he's supposed to be a tourist, including measures to blacklist an individual and do an exchange of the individual's blacklisted information with other countries, which is what we are doing for Malaysia together with Australia. Finally, we do the exit processing, where the person's credential is checked, whether he's the same person who came in with the same passport before the person is permitted to leave. So in terms of our experience and our solutions, what we have is we have an international pre-profile screening. You can consider this as a visa application system, where a person goes to a visa center to get his history and biometrics enrolled and check out to obtain a travel visa before he can travel into a country. Secondly, we have a border control solution, which does passport checking, biometric checking, profile and identity management to ensure the entire life cycle of a person within the country until he departs. Finally, we help the government to issue document ID with our technology. So the document ID will verify a person's working status, a student status, a spouse status, or a second home, a PR, for example. All this is achieved using our core technology, what we call a Nextcode platform solution architecture. This is a pretty busy slide, so I won't go through it. But if there's any question later, you can refer to the slide, and we are more than happy to answer any queries. Our Nextcode solution utilizes a proprietary barcode technology as an identifier, coupled with the biometrics, to ensure that a person's identity is secure and trusted. This is given based on a physical document, such as a sticker and a card, plus its own personal biometric, which is the facial, the fingerprint. Combining this allows a person who is checking to obtain a single source of truth and the full history of the person, such as his entry date, his travel date, his banking credential, his health status. This has helped to the countries that implemented it to read out fraudulent identity, which is a key point of cybersecurity, document forgery, such as access credentials, ID cards, driving license, and it helps to combat things such as trafficking and terrorism, where the unwanted and undesired people are barred from entering the country or from leaving, and ultimately help to prevent and reduce crime. One of the main challenges right now in the world that we see is that travelers are not traveling, countries are not opening the border because of fear due to the current COVID pandemic and the troublesome process for a person to travel and the concern about the crowd. One of the solutions that our company has came up with during this period is what we call a digital identity network. This is a new solution combining our previous technology and solution to provide, firstly, a secure onboarding process and electronic know your customer process, where a person's biometric profile is submitted and self-invoked to create an irrefutable identity. This is then coupled with a digital landing card capability and the health profile, his health history, his travel history, his test record, for example, whether he has undergone COVID test or recovered from it. All this will then generate into a single token that will be used when it processed through the airport before and upon arrival for faster clearance that can be automated through e-gate without any manual intervention. So this reduces the risk of any contact and also potential COVID that disease spread. His movement within the country is also integrated for tourism if he's a tourist. So things such as hotel check-in, attractions, places of interest, retail experience. And all this is pumped into a big data analytic engine where the government can monitor if there is a potential threat or if the person has came into contact with potential people who carry the disease. Our solution overall is government integration ready. We have already worked with the existing government in Malaysia and several airlines. It also ties in with corporate access. So companies that offers tracking of their employees and so on, as well as being financial and banking compliance, where this digital identity and know your customer KYC is used by the bank to verify identity prior to account opening. All in all, this is the journey of our solution, of a person using our solution, where he first starts from installing the application that he can download from the App Store or Play Store, re-enrolling himself and entering his landing card information. All this will then be used for pre-flight, check-in, clearance, baggage, all the way until you enter the country into the hotel attraction traveling. This is the scope of offering that we have, which is both software, hardware, and services. I understand the time is running out, so I'll just jump to the last slide. I think the key takeaway about our company is that we have been a trusted government partner for the past 10 years. We have a proven border control solution implemented in Malaysia and other countries. And we are providing digital ID management using biometric to secure a person's identity for financial transactions, traveling, health status, and many more. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the presentation and the overview of your products that evolutionized for COVID and post-COVID reality. It's really impressive. Thank you. And I think we can go on with the next speaker. It's Anis Hassoun of Security Code. Please, Anis, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Kirill, thank you for the introduction. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizer for allowing us to participate in this event. It's really a privilege. So during my presentation today, I will introduce you to our company, our cybersecurity concept, and briefly talk about our main solution. So represent Trusted Access Technology. It's an international brand of Security Code. Security Code is Russian leading cybersecurity, private cybersecurity vendor of both software and hardware products. So our HQ is in Moscow, and we have more than 35,000 customers, mainly in government entities, defense industry, oil and gas, and other critical infrastructure. So here's a list of some of our key clients in Russia, including Central Bank, Federal Treasury, Ministry of Defense, and others. In security code, we adapt a holistic approach to protect information. So our products protect information on endpoints across the network to the private cloud. Now, I would like to talk about our cybersecurity concept. First of all, I would like to mention that typically the cybersecurity products are either embedded in operating system like Windows, so it's like login, access control, or the application running inside operating system. But the problem is that operating system and security products have various vulnerabilities and backdoors. So basically, if the hacker was able to successfully exploit Windows vulnerability or other operating system vulnerability, he can switch off your defense mechanism and gain access to your data. So for us, operating system and security code, on typical security code products are black box because we're not creators of that technology. We don't know what's inside it and what kind of surprises they have, including backdoors. But how can we address this issue? As mentioned, operating system has vulnerabilities. It can be hacked, and we can't do basically anything about it because it's not our technology. But what we can do is to inject control points before and after operating system to ensure trust and to protect your valuable data. And also, I would like to mention that we split the roles of IT administrator and security administrator. Why we think this is important? Because the human factor is there. So you cannot, it's dangerous to allow one person to control all your infrastructure. So he can be bribed. I mean, he can have some ideological concerns, take Edward Snowden as an example, or he's a human being, he can commit faults and mistakes. And the second reason is that usually administrator is the most targeted asset in your infrastructure because all the hackers, so hackers basically, and oftenly, they targeted him to get privileged access control, access rights and gain access to your system and switch off your defense mechanisms. I'll start here with our first product, which is Sobol. It's a TPM or trusted platform model. So we start from the lowest layer. It's used for pre-boot file integrity check, pre-boot user authentication, and unauthorized operating system boot restrictions. It comes in 3 interfaces, PCI Express, Mini PCI Express, and M2, so you can plug it in your server, desktop, and laptops as well. Now I'll move to our second product, which is SecretNet Studio for Data. It's an information-centric endpoint protection product. It's a software product. Here we have a case where the hacker was able to successfully exploit operating system vulnerabilities, and he's already inside your system. How SNS or SecretNet Studio can protect you from him? First of all, if you see here, our application running inside the operating system is linked to a trusted zone or trusted environment located below operating system. So it's invisible to the operating system and invisible to the hacker as well. And it allows us to protect our application, SecretNet Studio, for being switched off by the switch off in operating system area. So the hacker will not be able to change security policy. He will not be able to switch us off to gain access to your data, and your IT department will be instantly notified. I would like to highlight that SecretNet Studio, it's not a typical antivirus. It's a complex information-centric protection software that has 30 models. Antivirus is just one of them. It has also discretionary access control, mandatory access control, software firewall, IPS, and others. Now I'll move to the network protection. For network protection, we have our product named Continent 4. It's our next generation firewall and UTM. It can run in both modes as well. You can use it as perimeter firewall or internal firewall. It has a very high performance throughput. And also we have a patent unique technology where when you add rules, the speed decrease or throughput decrease. But in our case, if you if you have 100 rules or you have 1,000 rules, the speeds will remain the same because of the technologies that our unique technology. It comes in various models. It can cover starting from branch offices to high-end centers, so it can cover the needs of small organizations to big enterprises and centers. And our final product for today is vGate. It's a private cloud protection platform. It's used for security posture management, admin access control, and microsegmentation. And last, I would like to mention that we signed a strategic partnership agreement with Malaysian company Tramas. So we're working together on transferring our knowledge and our technology to Malaysia, and so we can share our technology and not just another black box. Thank you all for the attention.
Thank you very much, Anis, for your impressive presentation and your product portfolio overview. Thank you very much. And now we can proceed with the next speaker, MDT Security and Honwai Sim.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you see the screen being loaded. Thank you very much for having me. Again, introduction by myself. My name is Honwai Sim from MDT Innovations. We have a company called MDT Security. So just a bit of correction if you actually referring to the agenda that have been distributed through the calendar. Just want to highlight that we are quite a wide coverage kind of tech companies, including cybersecurity. But today I'm not going to talk too detail about cybersecurity or security concept. I'll focus more on what the company generally does. So you give me probably about 2 minutes to give a quick snapshot. MDT Innovations is a deep tech company focusing on IoT, Internet of Things for people and things management. And we also get involved in e-payment switching and enablement. So that is areas whereby cybersecurity protection is one of the key focus areas as well. And we have core tech in embedded and AI machine vision systems. And I'm not going to spend too much on this part, of course, but if you Google us, we were the Gartner Cool Vendor back in 2015, and we won multiple awards. And we've been quite profitable since day one. We've been, established since 2004, good 16 years that we have enjoyed since inception. We mainly focus on export sales, and to date we have surpassed more than $1 billion in export sales since inception. And a little bit of historical timeline from 2004 since inception. Key areas, key milestones that I would like to highlight. It's by 2007, we have some technology breakthrough. We have started to miniaturize things and cost down IC chips and modules. And 2012, we've been transferring MNC factories. We get ourselves involved in digital transformation and digital industry 4.0. Back then, even in 2012, the concept of industry 4.0 was not really popular. 2015, we have surpassed 100 million ringgit sales. It's a great milestone. It took us about 11 years to do that, but it took us only 2 years to double up the sales to 200 million in 2017. So that is also a very proud milestone that we have. And the same year, we actually expanded our attractions to Africa. And last year, 2019, we set up a factory producing RFID inlay smart labels, so with a capacity of 1 billion. So that is also one good milestone. And this year, due to some changes in major economic sector, we foresee a lot of digital acceleration and digital transformation is going to be benefiting us, the company as a whole. So if you look at the bottom part, we are a tech-based company. We believe in R&D. We filed and registered about 38 IPs across regions, not just only in local Malaysia or ASEAN itself. And we have quite a global presence. Asia Pacific main market. We have some sales traction in Europe and United States, American continent, but they are not very big. But we do have respectable sales contribution from African region. So that is something that we are quite proud of with recent breakthrough. And of course, we have actually invented some of the major tech breakthrough, like the smallest NFC reader module, and also using yarn as propagating antenna. So company background, we've been growing quite rapidly. I think some of the company backers are quite institutional investors. We have the international guys like SBI, our shareholders, and we have some Japanese conglomerates like AMG, which owns iFood Corporation. It's a microfinancing company based out of Kyoto. And we have some strategic investors like Takashi Koheki. They are a listed company in Japan Stock Exchange and FinTech Global Inc. There are the security companies in Japan Stock Exchange as well. So this is quite a quick snapshot of company background. So what we do is actually we believe in digital platform. We connect to customers. We help them to engage, help our customer to engage with their clients. We sense things. We get things connected. We manage the ecosystem. We connect to IT system. At the end of the day, we provide intelligence for decision making. So in our digital platform, we have actually quite a huge coverage in few main sectors, few main areas, I would say, application domains. One of them, I would say, people management. So this is the first part, areas of focus. So we focus a lot of time in tracking and tracing people. So a bit different from what earlier speakers have spoken about in terms of cybersecurity, and probably closer to what S5 is doing. They are more on immigration clearance. We are actually tracking and tracing into the security of movement of people. So we introduce work reporting tool. We have mapping and geofencing of people, quite an agnostic platform. We onboard multiple devices to track and trace people, multiple sensing, and also data driven. So some of the devices that we use are basically variables, basically AI vision, machine vision technology, basically RFID badges that you can wear, pin on your shirt, and also RFID tag, which you can sew on your uniforms or your clothing. So these are the things that we actually provide. So it's not just only at a platform level. We go quite deep into technology element, especially on embedded engineering. And of course, some of the product focus in people management in terms of services, we run a service what we call WeCare, workforce electronic care platform, whereby we track and trace staffs and workers, especially focusing on so-called 3D jobs, so-called industries, especially like mining and construction. We track and trace where they are. So there's one of our platform and successfully being actually exported to areas like Far East, especially in Hong Kong and China. And we run a service called what we call School Track, track and trace movement of children. So that is what we have successfully done in China as well. And also we run crowd recognition systems, especially focusing on attendance management for factories. Thousands of workers are being detected. So this is one of the areas that we focus our time and services to serve our customers. And then we have different focus area, which is things management. Of course, when we talk about people, always things will be there as well. So we do a lot of retrofitting. We connect to assets and fixtures. We measure analog behavior in all the environments. We do mapping and geofencing as well, if let's say it's outdoor. Agnostic as well, we base on our own embedded engineering capability, but we can also onboard other parties' devices into our platform. It's AI-based design. We use neural network design in accelerating our embedded engineering, especially in antenna design. So we can actually design antenna in split second compared to conventional methodology whereby you need computer-aided software to simulate the antenna size and shape, and it takes 20, 30 hours depending on your workstations. And of course, we collect data points as well. And some of the areas, focus areas in things management, industry 4.0, work in progress digitalization. So these are the areas that we do. We do a lot of retrofitting on existing machineries and production plant. Some of our key clients are multinational key clients, Fortune 500 companies, semiconductor firms like Infineon, NXP, Freescale. These are my clients. And we have heavy industry people like the cement industry and metal, steel industries are also my key clients. And in IoT in retail, we focus a lot in areas whereby things like trolley management, especially down south in Australia. Coles is one of my first implementation. And we do also electronic shelf labels, by actually digitizing the entire shelf of pricing on the shelves. And in healthcare department, we do a lot of FAMS and BAMS, hardware asset management. BAMS means biomedical engineering asset, and FAMS is facility engineering asset. And we do linen management. We do leasing as well. So you can look at the videos, especially at the bottom. We track and trace movement of linens and count them. Things that they don't count manually due to contamination and soil. So So that is how we get involved in the entire tracking and tracing process. And also we do a universal payment gateway. So we actually set up the data center and switches. We have one in Cyberjaya, hosted at NTT.com, and we actually partner with American software company called ACI, ACI Global. It's a banking and payment switching company. So we host this, and we actually sign up e-payment issuers so that they can actually transact their e-payment transaction at our gateway. So we do that, and of course, cybersecurity protection is tip-top. And due to that, also we have also signed up with Tata Communications, one of the global internet providers. They own about 60% of the subsea cable around the world. So together we provide cybersecurity protection in terms of DDoS mitigation, and also ISO WAN, SD-WAN, and global SIP. And of course, being global operator themselves, we also partner with them in global SIM, whereby some of our IoT solution may be able to expand to multiple countries, in fact, 200 countries that they are covering. So not only that, we have, I think I mentioned that before in the earlier of the slide, we co-own a manufacturing plant in Malacca. Out of a 1 acre land, we produce RFID labels, inlays and labels, which will have a capacity of 1 billion pieces by year 2021. At this moment, the current capacity is about 600 million pieces. So this is also to serve our key clients in America, especially the likes of Zebra, Amazon, UPS, Avery Dennison, and etc. So of course, that is some of my snapshot about the company. Thank you very much for having us, and talk to you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanwai. Thank you for your presentation and the overview of your really broad product portfolio. It's great to know that among our partners there is a company embracing deep tech engineering approach. That's great. Thank you. And now we can proceed to our next speaker. It's Alexey Raevsky from Zekurion. Alexey, please welcome.
So, hi everybody. My name is Alexey Raevsky. I represent Zekurion, Russian cybersecurity company, which is global. In fact, so first of all, let me introduce Zekurion. We've been established in 2001. We're focusing on internal security. We have offices currently in Moscow and New York. We have more than 10,000 customers, from small and medium business to large enterprises in all industries, all verticals, all market segments. Our products been featured by Gartner, IDC, Forrester, and smaller analyst firms, and received many international awards. Here is the list of awards. You can see there are Russian, Germany, United States, and the latest one is most interesting. It's SC Magazine gave us 5.0 score and recommended status in the beginning of this year. Here are our sample customers. Most our customers currently are in Russia, but also we have customers in the United States, in Latin America, in Europe, and in the Middle East. Our key product is the DLP system, but we introduce next generation DLP concept, which helps to solve internal fraud problem. Why this problem is so important? In the beginning of this year, Association of Certified Fraud Examiners published a report about occupational fraud and abuse. They analyzed 2.5 thousand cases from 125 countries, and they found that total loss due to occupational fraud was more than 3.6 billion US dollars. Average loss per one case was 1.5 million, and they found that organizations lose 5% of their revenue due to occupational fraud each year. If we extrapolate this number to the global economy, we can see that the total losses of occupational fraud and abuse is 4.5 trillion US dollars. It's the huge number. To give you the idea, I can say that total spendings of US national budget in the 2019 was just 4.2 trillion US dollars. And Zecurion helps to address this problem with its next generation DLP concept. Comparing to classical DLP, which protects data from leaks only, we treat this problem in much broader scope. We protect from internal threats, insider threats, which includes, of course, data leak prevention, but there are more problems, which includes internal fraud. We help to detect internal fraud, improve internal security posture of the organization, reveal employees' misbehavior and misuse of organization's resources, and conduct forensic investigations. This helps to reduce the losses due to occupational fraud and abuse. Our product has some set of unique features that classical DLP systems don't have. There are two classes of such features. First class is intelligence capabilities, which means that we keep full archive of files and events, and based on this archive, we can generate new knowledge, which is quite useful when you need to do some forensic investigations. We have user behavior analytics module, which analyze users' behavior and can predict some problems with the emotional profiling feature. We have user connection diagram, which displays internal users and external contacts. Part of this diagram you can see on this slide. This is quite useful if you need to do forensic investigations, because it displays some hidden connections within your organization. The second class is advanced control capabilities. We control more points comparing to classical DLP systems. For example, keyboard, we can record all typed keystrokes of users. We can record the user screen and save it to the archive for forensic purposes. We have application control feature, which allow you to create a blacklist and whitelist of applications and reduce the risk of using some dangerous applications such as torrent clients, Tor browsers, and so on. And we can control not only what's going on inside the computer and the network, but we can also monitor surrounding environment. We have microphone recording and webcam recording, which means you can turn any computer with microphone and webcam into the surveillance device. We have screen photo detection feature as well. It's currently in prototype, but we expect it to be released in the next version in the beginning of next year. It's a kind of revolutionary feature which is able to detect attempts of user to take a photo of the screen with their smartphones. So to summarize what I said above, I can say that there are actually classical DLP systems which helps to provide compliance and protect sensitive data from leakages. But Zecurion DLP on top of that helps to reduce cost of investigations, identify employees' misbehavior, misuse of organization resources, reveal internal fraud, financial manipulations, embezzlement, espionage, and some other unwanted things that could lead to real financial losses. Okay, actually, if I have a couple of minutes more, I have use cases. First use case is electric grid company. They have 15,000 users, and they found that there is a group of perpetrators inside the company which which performed tender manipulations through the network of nominee firms, and this led to purchase some stuff through those tenders with higher prices, and the loss of the company during 3 years was more than $5 million US. Second use case is oil refinery plants with 4,000 users. They have different type of fraud, theft of plants products, and its sales to affiliated dealers with significant discounts. Losses identified was also more than $5 million US. So it's quite significant, and with the help of our system, they were able to stop this scam and find the guys who organized this. That's all from my side. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Alexey. Thank you for your presentation, and especially for your interesting real-life cases. And if we have no questions to Alexey, we can go on with the Secure Metric company and its representative was Tech. Please welcome.
Hi, thanks. Firstly, thanks for this. We've been supporting MDEX initiatives, and I believe there will be very good cooperation between the two countries, starting with, hopefully we can start with cybersecurity. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm unable to start my video because I have some technical issues actually with my video driver this morning, which I was unable to solve. So you guys are spared from well, looking at my unkempt face for today. All right, so I'll proceed to share my screen. I'll just briefly introduce the company. Well, Secure-Metric Technology has been in the field of cybersecurity for, I think, coming to 11 years now. So we are located in Malaysia. This is our headquarters with direct physical presence, branches in Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. And you can see my contact below there. Please feel free to contact me. We pretty much focus a lot on cybersecurity. So in terms of the organization itself, a lot of the talents that we have, the senior management, are all, well, quote unquote, cybersecurity experts. But we specialize a lot in publicly building public key infrastructures platforms, right? So most of our focus is on B2B basis, and we are pretty much known in Southeast Asia to be certificate authority builders. We have built multiple certificate authorities across this region and some countries out of Southeast Asia as well. Well, the list there is actually, I think we can extend it a little bit more to some countries in Africa as well. But the focus mainly are in government and private certificate authorities. So the solutions and the consultancy services that we have will extend to government agencies who wants to build perhaps a nationwide certificate authority to service all of its its citizens, down to a single organization like a bank, for example, that wants to build a certificate authority to just manage internal certificates within its organizations. So, well, today I'm actually more going to focus on our latest innovation, which is called Signing Cloud. it is a digital signature platform. Well, the name implies that it is offered on cloud, but we also do on-premise implementations for clients that require their own signing platform. This is pretty much our delve into the field of electronic signature, such as the likes of DocuSign, which is pretty much globally known right now. Yeah, but us being PKI players, we do our digital signature completely using the public key infrastructure standards. So the main motivation is, well, technically we are trying to be, I guess, the de facto Asia digital signature platform, allowing users the same flexibility and security of using digital signatures over the cloud, and well, pretty much allowing them to sign and any document anywhere at any time they need. So a little bit on the features that we have, because we're pretty much cybersecurity guys. So we take the step further in authenticating the users of, well, the signers in this case, right? With various step-up authentication methods that we introduce that is built in within the platform. So as a subscriber, when an administrator, for example, logs in to signingcloud.com, subscribes to our business package, for example, they will be able to ask their employees or their customers that are interacting with them through this platform, maybe getting an NDA sign or, well, anything, well, for example, any agreement whatsoever, to download an app and proceed to authenticate themselves with these methods, which includes mobile OTP and biometric capabilities. Well, the standard SMS OTP is pretty much to cater to more of the masses that do not wish to download an app. Well, addition to that, since we are Southeast Asia focused, we try to adhere to the legalities within the Asian region. But digital signature, the PKI way, is pretty much an open standard and known standard across the world. So we are trying to adhere, well, we are also taking reference of initiatives and guidelines from EIDAS, for example, for our signature. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is pretty much acceptable everywhere. So we can sign any type of documents that you upload right now, from your standard docx, PowerPoints, Excel files, well, PDF, of course, and well, down to your JPEG files if you need it signed online. We have traceable signing operations. We have reports. Well, these are pretty much all of the features that you would expect from a digital signing platform that's online. A little bit about the standards. We currently follow the CADAS standards of PDF document signing. And for time stamping, which is another crucial factor in digital signature, to pretty much, well, two reasons to have strong time stamping is you can, without any additional audit trail, you can strongly identify and well, the date and time of the signer signing that document can be clearly attested and visible. And at the same time, it also allows the document to be, well, long-term validated. The term LTV is used commonly in the PKI world for digital signing and time stamping. So we follow the ETSI 102.778 PDF advanced PADAS standard, which is one of the highest standard in time stamping, actually. So Well, without actually the capacity to show you guys a demo on how it works, but it's better that I hope you guys can try it out yourself. We have a free sign up that's available in signingcloud.com. So log in yourself, please, and try it out. And if there's anybody out there that requires, because the free account is pretty much just 5 documents, but you can get in touch with me personally if you guys want to do, well, I guess a trial on it. Just let me know. We are more than happy to increase the volume of the documents to any of the participants and the panelists here. Well, yep, that's pretty much from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to try your product. You can copy your link to the chat, so every participant could click and try it for free. Thank you very much. And I think we can go on with our next speaker. It's Shafiq Dawood, who represents Group IB. Shafiq, please welcome.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear perfect.
Thank you very much. So firstly, I'd like to thank everyone here. Assalamualaikum. Siem Privyet. And my name is Shafiq Dawood. I am the head of sales and business development sales and business development of Asia Pacific. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Group IB, a little bit about our company, our story, our products, and in the next 10 minutes or so. We are a company that's not a startup. We've been in the business for 17 years. We started out of Masbah, and we have been doing incident response, digital forensics as a starting point. We've clocked about 60 over 1,000 hours of incident response. We have a 24/7 cert. We got now about 450 employees and have about a set of openings of about 120 openings worldwide. We just opened up offices in Amsterdam, Vietnam, and even Malaysia. And we are now headquartered out of Singapore. As with most companies, we are represented in Forrester, IDC, and even in Gartner. I think one of the most noteworthy parts is that when we first started, we started on our own, and we got recognized by Interpol and Europol, who are our official partners, when we do a lot of digital forensics and investigations in catching transnational criminals. The IB in Group IB stands for Investigative Bureau. So we protect governments, we protect banks. When we got founded in 2003 by our founders, we started off as a forensics and incident response company, and later on we started to develop products after we monetized on our threat intelligence, becoming the base foundation of all the rest of our other products. We developed threat detection systems, which composes of sensors, sandboxes, and even EDRs that culminate to a box in which we call Handbox, that enable you to do correlation of different IOCs to get a better understanding of an attack chain reconstruction. We have anti-fraud solutions as well, called Secure Bank and Secure Portal, and which are currently being used even in Malaysian banking today. We've got a lot of services as well that are such as compromise assessment, incident response. We've got red teaming and even penetration testing. But basically the foundation is our threat intelligence, which is highly recognized. We've been tracking different APT groups for the past 17 years. We have been charting out C2 infrastructure. It's very dynamic. We've got teams of botnet analysis teams. We've got DFIR teams. We've got threat hunting teams. And primarily, it spawned off a lot of different products. Like I mentioned, anti-fraud. We even have a brand protection team, which does anti-piracy, anti-scam, and even anti-counterfeit for big pharma, for broadcasting corporations, and also even in terms of a scam perspective. We're pretty good at that because we do takedowns. We're part of first and trusted introducer. So we give an SLA and guarantee of less than 24 hours to take down websites that contain any form of phishing or malware. But still, what is our flagship product here, aside from threat intelligence, would be our TDS system. Yeah. And so let's speak a little bit about threat intelligence. We are very threat actor centric when it comes to our threat intelligence. We have a lot of information about since days of old, when we first started with things like Lurk, Corco, Bootstrap, Russian-speaking threat actors, and then we moved on to like Swift-based attacks like Silence and even the North Korean Lazarus. And now we have even found other APT groups that we have charted in our threat intelligence. We've got a lot of patented technologies built in, like our graphing tool, which basically transposes C2 infrastructure, known malware attacks, so that you get a visualization in a retrospective perspective. We have a lot of different use cases, ranging from combating advanced threats. And when we talk about advanced threats, you need a crew that constantly performs analysis on the latest attacks, the latest anti-evasion techniques, on the latest bots, on the latest JS sniffer families, for instance, and us doing incident response throughout the whole of the Asia Pacific region and also globally helps us to get abreast of all of this. Having a crew of about 58 DFIR staff and about 40 plus brand protection staff, which does diverse things, also does help. We monitor the deep and dark web. That's one of our differentiators. We are pretty good in defining the different carding forums and compromised accounts for national level banks, for example, and even specific government domains. We help you to prevent phishing. We have a lot of training, and we correlate. One of the greatest strengths of Group IB is a level of correlation. It is not about being siloed, managing emails, managing networks, managing malware detonations, but it's not about it being siloed. We try to converge this in order to define who is the threat actor, to unveil who is the actual physicality instead of the virtual persona of the threat actor. And that's why we do what we do. Detecting data breaches, understanding the threat vector of how a threat actor came into your network. We've done a lot of incident response over the past 12 months, at least about 10 incident responses that are all major cases, and they're all different. So in a high level look at the solution architecture, everything is powered by threat intelligence. That's where we use it, and it flows into other areas of our business, And one of the unique selling points about Group IB is how we get our data. We are at ISP level installations globally. We have a lot of different partners that have data sharing models with us. We collect our own intelligence through sinkholing, through a multitude of different data sources. And we analyze these TTPs because we are MITRE kill chain contributors as well. Essentially, our objective is to define attack timelines of different threat actor groups, specific campaigns, track them, chart them, and preempt them in the aspect of threat hunting, proactively, recursively, hypothesizing specific elements and defining it. So some of the key advantages of our threat intelligence: we have a built-in attribution tool. It allows you to do some level of forensics. It allows you for inter-institutional collaboration. Integration is not a problem to TIPS, to SIEMs, to we have APIs, sticks and taxi, JSON formats. It's personalized. You can even ask for tailored reportings from us. So most of the tier 1 banks use us, and we're integrated to most of the known brands such as Eclectic, IQ, Anomaly, Threat Connect, Threat Quotient, and a TIP perspective. In a comparative perspective, Group IB has quite a bit of an edge with some of the other players, as you can see, due to the level of differentiation we have in terms of a categorical standpoint. These are things that we're more than happy to share with you guys along the way. Our threat detection system, as I mentioned just now earlier, we have sensors, we have endpoints, we have malware detonation platforms. it correlates in an engine called Handbox, where it gives you an automated attack chain reconstruction. This is one of our key products. This is what most people need in order to have the ability to preempt attacks, to be able to have speed when it comes to incident response. And this is important, especially when we talk about risk exposure perspectives. Moving along. These are some of the modules that we have. And we have managed detection and response. It's a 24/7. We've got a 24/7 follow the sun cert. We've got Handboxes I mentioned to you earlier on. It is more infrastructural management and data analysis and even forensics. Our IOCs can come from our sensors, our sandbox, which is called Polygon, and also our Handbox. On a high level comparison, we compare ourselves against the likes of Checkpoint and FireEye. Not say that, who's better or who's not, but it's different layers that we play in, right? So more than happy to share this information with you guys, anyone who needs it later on. And please read our reports, because our reports is definitive. It's very granular in nature. It's very technical in nature. And that would be substantial to showcase our capabilities in how we track threat actors, how we catch them. We go with the likes of law enforcement agencies throughout the whole of APAC in order to track them, catch them, and also prevent them on a ransomware perspective. We have many customer cases from different areas like government to banking to digital bricks and mortar banks to those just purely digital ones as well. And yeah, that's basically my end of my slideshow.
Thank you, Shafiq, for your impressive company and product overview. And I personally would also recommend for every participant to download to read Group IB's reports. It's really, they really give in-depth analysis and forecasts for trends and really interesting use cases. So feel free to download Group IB reports and contact Shafiq. And our next speaker is Tuan Fazil Azmi from Nexagate. Please welcome.
So thank you so much for everyone's time today. I'm here today on behalf of Nexagate to share our flagship, or rather moving forward, because the way we see it, cybersecurity solutions are now converging due to the digital transformation. I'll tell you guys in a bit. So NSI Unified Security is a flagship that we on our own develop in-house. It is a dashboard and software with the purpose of giving total cybersecurity visibility to provide instant protection, gain threat visibility, and to ensure compliance. So thank you so much, everyone, today. Before I proceed with the presentation, let's share a bit about Nexagate. Okay, so Nexagate is actually a cybersecurity company, a total cybersecurity solutions provider. We are actually part of Nexa Group. We have two sister companies, one Nexa Data dealing with network, SD-WAN, wide area network solutions. And we also have another sister company who is Nexasoft, who is dealing with the software side, focusing on VR, AR, and also web system development side. So on our side, Nexagate is the main company fronting, and we do cybersecurity in the field of risk and compliance, audit and testing, and also managed protection. So this is, all right, so this is Nexagate in a nutshell. We have been established since 2010. We have presence in predominantly Malaysia. Our HQ is in Malaysia. We've expanded into servicing some customers in Indonesia, Singapore, and also Laos as well. We are certified ISO 27001. That's how we started our journey. We used to be a system integrator on IT. However, we've shifted our focus since 2010 after receiving our certification, and we started to go into cybersecurity. Our own journey started with risk and compliance, which is to establish and improve security processes. This is more towards ISMS. And so we started to do security testing. This is to assess and test against cyber threats and also manage protection. Some of our clients started talking to us, asking us to start managing their tools and their security tools. We are also CREST certified for our penetration testing services. A bit more detail in terms of risk and compliance. mainly we do ISMS consultancy, but we also do business continuity consulting, ITSM consulting, and also data leak protection consulting as well. That's the first pillar. The second pillar would be audit and testing, the likes of security posture assessment. We do network penetration testing. We do IoT cloud security assessment, red teaming security test, and secure code review. For managed security protection, we can manage certain tools or solutions such as web security, DDoS protection, data leak protection tools, SIEM, log management, APT, endpoint security, and also managed security awareness. So these are some of our major clients within the 4 countries that I mentioned just now. Mostly we deal with highly regulated verticals such as the banks, telco, service providers, and also the government itself. We also have we are also servicing various verticals as well, which could be Media Prima is our media company here in Malaysia, or oil and gas and healthcare as well. So in general, I think most of us in this room or virtual room now is more towards cybersecurity, would know that the trend is towards digital transformation. And Industry 4.0 is such a buzzword at the moment. IT/OT management is the digital trend, access control, CCTV network, emails, and software. And also there's a growth in digital branding, websites, digital marketing, and sorts, and data management to manage all the data, which could be in one place or with HQs and branches as well. So when implementing all this, there are some cybersecurity concerns. That would be data security, to ensure that to protect the data and to prevent leakage, to have security protection, to ensure that you have the right protection. Right meaning right for the budget and right for the scope of the infra as well, across all IT assets that is related to the critical infrastructure, to detect asset threats, which would be IT assets and many security vulnerabilities, and also security awareness, to improve the employee. Now, this is our Nexa Security Intel. This is a dashboard that we developed in-house. We have 10 developers working on this at this point of time. This is one app to manage all cybersecurity needs. It is designed based on our 3 pillars that I mentioned earlier, which is risk and compliance, security assessment, and also managed protection. Compliance manager is to establish and create awareness. So, for example, if you're going through an ISMS certification at this point of time, the dashboard will track the document implementation and also the track in terms of the documentation readiness. So basically, the high level would be able to tell how ready an organization is towards moving towards the ISMS certification or recertification. The second module is the threat manager. The philosophy here is you can't protect what you can't see. So this is for beginner level SMEs, for example, or enterprises looking into discovering their assets and also to see how vulnerable their IT infrastructure is. And finally, we have the protection manager. This is actually to integrate, the vision here is to integrate all the solutions which has open API and to integrate it within one dashboard. Now, the idea of the protection manager is not to replace existing dashboards, but merely to gather the information, to pull the information so that you don't have to go into 10 different dashboards if you have 10 different tools to just access a high level information. Obviously, if you want to remediate, the proprietary dashboard would be ideal, and obviously we would have links to the dashboards. So it's a cloud solution, pay per use, and it's fully managed. This is a general architecture. So NSI is cloud-based. You have all the four modules, or the 3 modules plus the NSI Academy, which I'll show you in a bit. So users access via cloud, on the internet as well. It's accessible. It's web-based. So on-premise, we would deploy an NSI agent, which is optional. If a client would have a server, we can deploy the VM inside the VMware or inside the server that's readily available. So this NSI agent is actually optional. So it means the idea is that we can also do this, deploy this remotely as well. So this, we have customers who want to strengthen people processing technology. Our idea is to provide total security visibility. And cyber threats coming in, Nexagate, with our 10 years of experience, we have security professionals which would advise in terms of best security policies and best practices. We have our 24/7 SOC, and also we have our security protection, either cloud and hybrid solutions that we partner up with certain principal or technology partners. So this is at the back would support the NSI dashboard. So it's not like a dashboard and you're on your own. It's a dashboard which with some backup and expertise behind it. So we have two versions. One is enterprise and one is for SMEs, smaller SMEs. So for enterprise, the difference is that within the compliance management. As I mentioned earlier, for the compliance management, you have a ISMS dashboard, you have a document management where you can manage all your documents. You can track your implementation of the documents and processes, and you can also manage your incident and change management. The threat manager, you would have an asset and threat dashboard. You can do asset discovery, vulnerability scanning, and report as well. For security protection, I've integrated this with Improva for web security and DDoS protection, and we have integrated with F-Secure. However, the vision here is to be able to integrate with all the available solutions within the market. So we are not here to replace anyone. We are here to work with all the cybersecurity players within the market. So this is how the dashboard looks like for the large enterprise version. So as you can see, there's a compliance. This is the main module. So this is one of our clients in Indonesia. So this is the main compliance module. This is the threat and also the protection module. So this is all for the high level. The likes of the CEO or non-technical person would be able to appreciate the information provided here. Of course, there would be options to go in depth. So the idea is still to have complete cybersecurity visibility. Now, NSI for business, the difference is that for new small businesses, they might not be looking into ISMS certification as of yet. However, the compliance manager for the NSI for business is set out to set best practice based on ISMS ISO 27001. So a company will be able to look at the template and look through it and customize it into their own environment. So the threat management and security protection would have the same features between the enterprise and the business. So this is how the NSI Lite is different. As you can see, the compliance module is different. It has a rating score here based on a questionnaire that is answered by the client. These are some of the adapters that we have. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have integrated with some of the solutions. So I'll just skim through this. This is a more detailed version when you go in depth within the particular modules. This is the compliance module. This is the asset threat and visibility module. As you can see, you can have the full list of the assets and also threats being shown based on the severity. Protection-wise, integrated web security and DDoS protection, which information which is being pulled, and also in terms of endpoint protection, you have the summary that is available on the dashboard. So a little bit more in terms of the NSI Academy, this is a bonus feature that we have in place. It's the knowledge center whereby you can access original content from us, and also we do curate from our partners, and we do have an NSI cyber range as well. So in a nutshell, the compliance manager is to address the data security. Threat manager is to address to detect threats. Security protection, we have the protection manager, and in terms of academy, would ensure security awareness within a particular organization. So that's the time that I have. Thank you so much. So if you'd like to, I'll message within the chat feature in a bit, but this is how you can contact us. You can email us at sales@nexagate.com. We do have a trial. We can do a 1-month trial for free for anyone who wants to try out the NSI. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attention and time today.
Thank you, Tuan. Thank you for your presentation, for the overview of your unified security management approach. Please share your contact details in chat for further collaboration. And I would like to welcome our next speaker, Philip Levov, who was one of the panelist in the beginning of our technology day. Philip, please welcome.
Okay, colleagues. So on this presentation, I will talk a little bit about Security Operations Center, what is proper Security Operations Center, and about our outsourcing services, so Security Operations Center as a service. And first of all, a little bit about our company. Biazon nowadays is one of the leading Russian developer of cybersecurity solutions. The company is a subsidiary of the largest Russian financial institutions called Sberbank. The headquarters of Biazon is located in Moscow in Russia, but we also registered in Singapore, in Switzerland in Europe, and in Middle Asia in Kazakhstan. Nowadays, the staff employs more than 450 experts, like computer forensic specialists, penetration testers, software developers, and other different integration specialists. As for global partnership, nowadays Biazon is a strategic partner for Interpol Global Complex for Innovation. So our forensic specialists help them to investigate different crimes worldwide. And also, as a part of Sberbank Group, we are a technical partner for World Economic Forum for Cybersecurity, which is annually located in Davos. So in this presentation, I will no longer refer to different statistics of various threats, but I will try to talk only about one important topic, how to develop and implement the proper Security Operations Center. And in this slide, I would like to introduce the reality in terms of cybersecurity. I think it's the same everywhere and worldwide. And first problem, of course, it's a lack of professional staff who can handle with different threats and vulnerabilities. The second one is the increasing number of attack. So it's also increasing complexity of attack. It's increasing complexity of the whole infrastructure. And of course, all this leads to the fact that there are a lot of different events in the organization that must be correlated with each other. And there are a lot of different threats and vulnerabilities, and it's impossible to handle with all of them. And last but not least, it's a shifting focus from prevention to detection and investigation. And it means that if someone purposely wants to hack you or your company, then we will definitely do. So it's a reality. Preventive measures, it's not enough anymore. So I suppose nowadays everybody knows what is Security Operations Center, what it should do, and on what principles it is based. So it must detect modern threats and computer attacks within the organization using right technologies, of course. Second fact, it's the processes, so security processes and procedures, which must be built. Third thing is, of course, distributed professional security operation team. And last one is continuous monitoring. So it should be provided in 24-hour, 365 days a year manner. Another SOC task that preventive solution do not protect organization 100%. It can help only in 80 to 90%. So according to statistics, if the attack wasn't prevented, the average attack detection time can be more than several months. That's why it's necessary to implement another complementary solutions which will cover this 15% of attacks. And in our case, it's cyber threat hunting approach, which allows to detect and respond to complex and sophisticated threats. And threat hunting in combination with classic SOC preventive functions allows to cover all attack chain stages, including before breach and after breach scenarios. So as for threat hunting, it's not just the out-of-box solution. So it's a quite big theme. So firstly, it is necessary the dedicated team who can more deeply analyze events from endpoints and network solutions. Secondly, this team must conduct a constant research on the internet, in different professional forums, in professional literature. We try to find modern attacks, modern techniques and attack methods regarding new attack methods. And the third thing, so we collect this knowledge, and we must generate the hypotheses regarding these attack methods. Is it possible for the infrastructure or not? So it's a big integrated approach, which requires several components. It's a dedicated threat hunting team, so specialists with extensive experience in analyzing a variety of attacks. And secondly, it's technical solutions. And in our cases, it's EDR, which we developed in our company, and also network analysis. And these solutions provide us a lot of additional telemetry data, which provide in which our specialists can find some different threats and different data. So we speak a lot about cooperation, collaboration, and threat intelligence before, and of course, this information is also a big part of proper security operations center. In our case, we develop our own threat intelligence platform called BI-Zone Threat Vision, and nowadays it's a platform which aggregates, verificates, enrich, and distribute data about relevant cybersecurity threats. So it aggregates information from different sources, analyze, verify, and provide relevant indicator of compromise. And also our platforms integrate with a lot of different security tools and provide automatically blocks attacks on firewalls, IPS system, and mail protection systems also. Regarding Russian experience in terms of threat vision, we have a community in banking field, which is called Association of Banks. And nowadays it's include more than 300 members. And BI-Zone company built data exchange process between these organizations using threat vision platform. So nowadays platform allows participants automatically receive verified indicators of compromise. And also every participant in this association can share information about threat found in their organization. And as a result, we have a lot of experience, knowledges, and expertise in terms of developing and implementing on-premise security operations center. And this is one of our main service. We help to transfer the whole BI-Zone technology stack, which of course include different technologies, including incident response platforms, threat hunting platforms, different automatizations tools, case library, and so on. And of course, except technologies, we help companies to build and implement proper processes and procedures. So not just launch technologies. And last thing, people, we provide training for specialists who can handle the fraud. For the companies who are interested in security outsourcing, we also have a special SOC as a service called TMA, and we provide it from our own security operations center, which is located in Moscow. And this service provides fully round-the-clock monitoring of information security events in the customer's infrastructure, detection current threats, computer attacks, and also a response for cybersecurity incidents that have already occurred. And so in conclusion, I just want to emphasize that there are only one correct decision regarding an increasing number of threats is using technology, knowledges, and experience from expert company instead of reinventing the wheel. So colleagues, thank you very much. It's all. I will share my contacts in chat, and please feel free to contact me and give some response. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Philip, for your impressive presentation. And if you have any questions, I remind you that we have a chat and Q&A session. Feel free to ask questions to Philip or to other panelists. And thank you, Philip. And now we can proceed with our next speaker. It's Hon Fun Ping from NetAssist. Please welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the time. I think talk about SOC, everybody. I just realized that there are many SOC players around. So halfway the presentation, I was wondering what should I talk about it. But anyway, let me just do a brief introduction about who we are. We position ourselves as a managed security service provider. Our HQ is in Malaysia. Our security, we are actually running a security operations center, which is winning some awards. ISO 27000 certified. Indeed, we simplify our offering into 4 boxes, 4 categories like here. What we try to say is that we help customer to mitigate the risk from cyber risk from the human point of view by providing security awareness training. There's a train part coming. The training portion, which is we actually use phishing simulations, online security awareness training. That's how we started off helping our clients handling on the human vulnerabilities. Then we actually also provide consultancy. Very often we actually using ISO 27000 as the baseline or the framework to provide the consultancy. We implemented some ISO 27000 implementation for customers. That's to handle the process part, the vulnerability of the process. And we actually also help our customer on the vulnerability of system or network by providing penetration tests, network layer, application layer, mobile applications. So that's where we actually do on the vulnerability for the technology portion. We have experience of build, operate, and transfer. That's where the do parts comes in, helping our customer to do the implementation, specifically in the area of SOC. I have an experience of building SOC for customers, but of course we also actually run our own SOC here. In fact, according to the MDEC, I need to actually talk about the market. So I will actually I took some information here is that Malaysia alone, we are talking about compounded annual growth rate of cybersecurity services, 20% or more than 20% in Malaysia. So that shows that the cybersecurity services demand is growing very fast, 20% compounded annual growth rate. Then I look back, and today we are talking about the Russian counterpart. So I look around about the Russia, the Euro market, and I start to realize that cybersecurity market are also growing compounded annual growth rate of 12%. I think that is a very interesting market that's growing. But at the end of the day, you and I probably agree. We have seen it. A real cybersecurity strategy should encompass people, process, and technology, which a few of our counterparts were talking about it just now. But the common problem that you and I also are facing are the global shortage of talent. So this is one of the statistics we actually dig out from the Google, showing that we actually like a shortage of 3 million of cybersecurity talent. So for those people who actually really want to simplify the understanding of what is an SOC, I always like to use this analogy. Those days when you do business, you have your factory, you have your office. So what you do is that you actually have a padlock, you have gate, you have CCTV, but not enough. You still have higher security guard to look at the CCTV, making sure that people are behaving the right way. So same thing. You have your firewall, you have an endpoint. That's where you also need a cyber guard like us, 24/7 sitting in front of this screen and trying to find things, abnormal behavior, and detect and respond for you. So that's how we actually manage to actually convince a lot of customers that they need us in this part of the world, where this is our Kuala Lumpur Security Operations Center, 24/7 running. We are having like close to 60 customers now today for SOC monitoring. This is our SOC in this place called Synergy Building in Jakarta, Alam Sutera. We actually already also have a few customers, one government, 2 banks, and 1 factories in Jakarta, which we started only like more than one year ago. But we already have some customer trusting us doing the SOC monitoring. In fact, not only that we do SOC, we're actually doing NDR, manage detection and response using some EDR solutions to provide the MDR services. In Cambodia and Thailand, we're also working with local partners, which is why today part of my agenda is hopefully we actually look for some local partners in Russia to actually do something similar, where delivering security operations center services. And we also have a reference site and customer in Myanmar and Brunei, and those are banks which is trusting us for our SOC services. So I'm not going to technical detail because I'm the last one today to do all this presentation, but I'm sure most of you actually have even a more interesting screen to show as your SIEM, your threat hunting. So at the end of the day, what we try to tell people is that our SOC monitoring do not only work with SIEM, but in fact, we call ourselves SNOC, Security and Network Operations Center, where in fact, we also incorporate the network layer monitoring using network performance monitoring to do the to deliver service. And I was talking about managed detection and response. In fact, today people talk about working from home. It becomes even more relevant today, where we put in some EDR, some endpoint sensor at end user PCs at the cloud, and we actually using some AI or machine learning features to actually collect all the processes information, the registry activities to detect, and we do the verification. So from there, that's where we add in the element of SOC, the human verification to deliver our MDR services. And of course, people will start actually asking, so how qualified are you? This is the certificate of ISO 27000, and you notice that it specifically talk about real-time security monitoring, vulnerability assessment as managed services, and incident handling. That's where we actually gain the trust of our customer. But to simplify our features, our SOC, of course, today we cannot away from deploying the idea of big data. So we are actually using some tools to collect as much data as possible. We thanks to the fact of lacking of talent and resources, and unfortunately, we indeed have to actually use SOAR, security orchestration, because that is also part of the solutions that we use to help us on the solving the issue of shortage of talent, as well as the response in time, as well as we actually have AI, ML, which we actually deploy to actually collect data. EDR, NDR, these are part of our SOC features. Of course, very importantly, vulnerability assessment tools, continuously vulnerability assessment is part of our services, part of the technology that we use. But on top of that, we actually value add our services with intelligence, dark web crawling, malicious file, malware analysis, domestic and global threat intelligence. And also we are using some SIEM software where they can incorporate user behavior, user entity behavior analysis. That's the behavior monitoring comes in. And that's where we actually enable the contextualization of the threats. And of course, we actually telling our customers, please engage a partner, a SOC vendor that has win some awards, get some recognition, has some regional recognitions. So nothing speaks louder than customer endorsement. These are some of the customers that actually trusted us in this region, not only Malaysia. In fact, we have some Jakarta, Brunei, Thailand customer. And you will notice actually we also have some technology vendors. They themselves are big system integrator, international. They actually OEM our SOC to do the delivery of services. So what we are trying to say is that since there are so much challenge to deliver cybersecurity services, you have shortage of talent, you have technology which is expensive. So I always like to talk about is there a way we actually work together with the concept of sharing of economy, so that our customer do no longer actually need to pay so much money, but a fraction of the cost, but yet they enjoy getting the talent, the technical resources, the technology to help them to mitigate the cyber attack. So with that, I achieved my agenda today to share with you there is a company in Malaysia called NetAssist, able to deliver SOC services and with proven record and with certification. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation and overview of your approach. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in chat or Q&A session. And I think we can continue with our next speaker. It's a company called Multifactor, and its representative, Ilya Cherevkov. Please welcome.
First of all, I would like to thank MDEC, Tech Global, and Russian Trade Representative Office for an opportunity to speak here today. Have you worked from home during the last 4 months? Well, if you have and you're employed in tech industry, you're likely one of that 41% of people who changed the way they work and communicate in response to a pandemic. Whether we like it or not, recent studies indicate remote work is going to stick with us in the long run. You probably know what it's like. As you wake up, you check your inbox first thing in the morning or stay up late on Zoom calls with your colleagues. The benefits that remote work bring, such as safety, additional free time, increased schedule flexibility, all these are coming at particular costs. Costs of inability to talk to your colleagues in person, socialize, and things like blurring the line between your work and personal life. You might be wondering, what does this have to do with cybersecurity? Well, just like we sacrifice some things while working from home, companies also pay a considerable price in this transition. Firstly, they put infrastructure security at risk to provide their employees, contractors, and partners with a convenient and engaging way of accessing corporate resources remotely. Secondly, IT teams have to deal with enormously increased volume of access-associated inquiries from users. It's essential to ensure that employees stay productive and business processes remain uninterrupted. Failure to protect the company's IT resources could result in financial loss, non-compliance, ruined reputation, and the theft of intellectual property. Finding optimal balance between the system security complexity and convenience for users is key for long-term company sustainability and process efficiency. And I believe companies can do better in finding this balance. My name is Ilya Cherevkov. I am an international business developer and cybersecurity solution architect at Multifactor. We are a young Russian cybersecurity company. Our mission is to provide businesses of all sizes with enterprise-class tools and solutions to safeguard core information systems. We strongly believe that things like malware, social engineering, phishing, and other sophisticated attack vectors have rendered simple password inadequate as security means. Password safety is highly prone to human factor and should be augmented with additional layer of security, which statistically prevents more than 90% of hack attempts. This value lies on top of our value proposition. In this presentation, I'm going to cover the major use cases and talk about partnership opportunities we are looking for in the Malaysian market. By the end of this presentation, you'll know exactly how you and your clients can benefit from the multi-factor solution and whether it's the right fit for your needs. It brings me to the central part of my presentation. During the first wave of pandemic, we observed two extreme approaches to remote work transition in the Russian market. The first extreme is the so-called paper security. It applies to companies that are being compliant with regulators and certification bodies, but by procuring certified solutions. But they're actually failing to implement them in a secure manner. For example, exposing critical access gateways to the internet while protecting them with a single factor of authentication, which is usually a simple login and password. The second extreme is security overkill. It applies to companies that are being truly concerned about real access security, but practically making it unjustifiably complicated for everyday use. For example, locking users in a strict network perimeter, requiring them to comply with complex security policies, use corporate hardware tokens and VPNs. Such an approach dramatically complicates users' onboarding and engagement, creates an additional load on help desk, and in the end, all of that hurts overall users' productivity. Whatever your organization's approach is, Multifactor has a solution for you. While providing enterprise-class security solution, which is simple, reliable, incredibly easy to integrate with, we are also here to help you and your clients to comply with all the major security standards out there. Multifactor platform comprises of several key components, and as we are limited in time, I'm going to concentrate on the two primary use cases. The first is multi-factor authentication and access control, And the second one is single sign-on and access management solution. Let me dive into more detail. So let's talk about MFA first. So basically, MFA adds a layer of security on top of your existing applications and infrastructure to prevent data breaches, account takeovers, and network attacks. Solution allows to reliably protect any remote connection, such as RDP, VPN, VDI, SSH, as well as cloud, SML applications, and APIs. The solution is hybrid. A separate component is installed in your network perimeter to integrate with your identity provider. The second factor works through the multi-factor cloud. Your user's password never leaves the internal network perimeter of your company. You will be able to verify this since all our components and agents are distributed under an open source license. Installation does not require additional servers, database licenses, or any third-party software. You can prescribe your users' mobile numbers in your Active Directory or identity provider of your choice, and they will immediately start receiving SMS one-time authentication codes to access your resources. Or you can add more authentication methods, Telegram, where you can confirm access by pressing a single button, OTP tokens, or even physical USB tokens. We support vendors like Cisco, FortiGate, Checkpoint, Citrix, VMware, and have ready-made integration solutions and complete documentation for engineers on our website. Sorry. Here's an overview of the solution we help to implement to our client, which is a big commercial bank in Russia. We secured employees access to corporate resources in under 48 hours and successfully enrolled 400 users. Now let's move on to the second solution, which is a single sign-on and access management. As the organization grows, the number of pieces of the technological puzzle grows as well. More and more applications, users, devices, all are in different geographical locations. IT and security teams must provide access to applications to protect corporate data while simplifying access for employees who need to stay productive. Our SSO solution allows you to manage access to popular applications such as Salesforce, Jira, Trello, Slack, and others through your identity providers of your choice. Employees will use a single account to log in to these applications, and of course, their login will be protected by a second factor of authentication. As a primary purpose of this event is business matching, it would be my pleasure to invite Malaysian partners to discuss possible partnership opportunities. So we are looking for opportunities with Malaysian system integrators, managed service providers, data centers, software distributors, and of course, direct business customers. We are open to discuss different localization, deployment, distribution scenarios, be it white label, SaaS, hybrid, or on-premise partner solution. Our Malaysian partners can benefit from the full support cycle and transparent pricing. We offer complete immersion in product testing at the customer site and quick solution refinements. Your personal partner manager is available 24/7 to answer any questions about the platform features, clients, and product roadmap. We also have prompt technical support, which is done in English by phone, email, and messengers of your choice. There is a complete and open documentation and step-by-step integration guides. If you are interested, please do not hesitate to contact me or colleagues at the Russian Trade Representative Office or Tech Global. I'm also looking forward to hearing from you. In conclusion, I would like to say that organization of any size, be it small, medium, business or enterprise, should consider implementing access control and management solution to significantly reduce unauthorized access risk, reliably protect corporate information, resources, and infrastructure, and drive digital information transformation amid difficulties imposed by the pandemic. So this wraps up my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I'll also share my contact details in chat below. Thank you.
Thank you, Lev. Thank you for your presentation. And looks like this solution is really easy to implement, and it covers a lot of potential today's risks. Thank you very much. Please contact Ilya if you are interested in this solution. And we proceed to our next speaker. It is Igor Alexeyev. He represents ICS Cube company.
Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Igor Alexeyev, and I am representing the small company called Ariel Consulting with our flagship product, which is called ICS Cube. we have been on the security market for small and medium enterprises for 17 years already. And in fact, back in 2003, when we started, the main idea for the product was that since internet operators at that time were selling traffic by volume, then many customers of those ISPs needed a tool to see their traffic consumption, and if they consume traffic sort of over a bit too much, then they need to find an insider and see who is behaving in the wrong way of their employees. So that was the very beginning, the inception of our company, and since then the product has developed into a full-fledged unified threat management system, which is kind of a solid software product, which is being sold as a software which you can install on your servers, either physical or virtual, or you can buy an appliance which already contains all the necessary software. So since that time, the name of our product was Internet Control Server. This is why ICS in the name of the product as we market it abroad, while in Russia it is still marketed under the name of Internet Control Service. As I said, we do have commercial partners in many parts of the world, but most of them are in Russia because we are only now starting to sort of move into the international expansion. We do have technology partnership, most notably with Kaspersky Laboratory, which is quite well known, not only in Russia, but abroad as well. We have quite a lot of satisfied clients which are using our product, which are actively participating in various discussions about its development, etc., etc. As I said, ICS Cube, Internet Control Server, is the system built around next generation firewall. So basically it replaces most of the infrastructure which is required by small and medium enterprises, being the heart of the routing system and protecting the corporate perimeter at the same time. It also has modular structure, which with various modules which are supporting different business issues not related to security, but also managed from the same interface and using the same databases and the same protection mechanisms for the whole enterprise. So basically, ICS Cube solves most of IT needs of kind of an average small or medium enterprise. It doesn't go very deeply into the issues of sort of overkill in security, but it does what the customers require from us. So first of all, it allows clients to see completely transparently what is going on their network, what is happening, what the clients are doing, what kind of threats it is being mitigated, etc. So you can construct and various access lists and access rules in order to manage, in order to shape the enforcement of internet security according to your corporate policy. So it also protects you not only at the firewall level, but also at the level of applications by using anti-spam, but using antivirus on traffic, by scanning the network traffic for various misuse, attack, and DLP patterns. It suits well to the situation when you need to connect not only just one office, but a set of distributed offices, and uses secure protected channels not only between those offices, but also between the users which happen to be out of office, working remotely, or being mobile in general. And it also has some special functions widely spread and usually used by some third-party tools such as corporate email, web servers, file exchangers, etc. So what are the advantages of ICSQ for a company CEO remote from technical issues? First of all, it allows for technical control of employees by using multiple authentication methods, enforcing access control rules, and last but not the least, providing very broad and very highly configurable usage reports on what generated what kind of traffic and what people were doing with it. The main purpose of it is actually the securing of corporate network, and it has been quite successful in that. It doesn't only work as the firewall, but it also secures all the traffic incoming into your network. It also has quite a low cost of ownership because it doesn't require any additional software which you need to purchase and manage. It doesn't really require very brilliant networking and technical stuff in order to operate it. So for the technical stuff, it brings single interface which allows you to control all the processes in your network, which not only the network processes, but also the issues happening with applications supported by Internet Control Server. So, and you can see the picture of what's going on at a single glance or in a unified web application graphical user interface. Then it is very easy to integrate ICSQ into almost any network environment a small or medium enterprise may have. And it also have a very good technical support. It is available throughout the clock and is usually extremely helpful if it at all needed by our clients. So once again, a brief overview of the features packed into the ICSQ. First, it's network security, which is based upon firewall, intrusion detection, protection systems, and antiviruses. It has access control for the users to access not only the outside, but also the protected areas of internal network. It employs VPN in order to connect between different instances of ICSQ between various offices and also for remote working employers. It has a built-in proxy, which also imposes various access rules. Well, as I said, it still counts the traffic and provides various reports, and you can construct your own reports on what kind of traffic was generated, but by what users, and you can actually delve into investigation why they were generating this traffic. It also has IP telephony on board so that you can sort of deploy your corporate voice over IP infrastructure without messing. It definitely has content filter to guard your employees against harmful information or information which does not comply with corporate internet usage rules. It has mail server integrated into the system with all the filters and spam protection. The model of distribution we use is that you can, any client, you can download the system from our site and have a 35-day trial in order to install it into the network and run it under various scenarios and loads in order to see if it solves the issues they have. And after that, the client can purchase it and keep all the settings and configurations which were made during the trial period. Alternatively, you can just evaluate the interface of ICSQ using online demo. So our clients, they include both business sector, government sector, and educational sector. And we have lots of clients which trust us and are quite happy with our solution. I'll flip from them rather briefly. because they all are saying good things about us. And basically, the main idea is that ICS Cube just solves the problem they are aware of, and they are quite happy and having solved these problems quickly and easily. Okay, a bit more of our clients. As I said, there are quite a lot of it, and here you see mostly clients from the business sector. So we do have a really efficiently working system of technical support, which is free of charge, both during the evaluation period and also at the later stages. You can telephone us, you can use chat on the website, you can use messengers, you can use email. So, and one of the strong parts of our traits of our company is that we usually take every client personally and delve into the problems of this client and trying to solve it, not on the kind of as a massive approach, but as an approach requiring attention to this particular client. So now we are looking for cooperation, particularly in Malaysian region, and we are looking for distributors, we are looking for early adopters, for testers, and we are also looking for possibilities of joining forces with Malaysian companies on actually doing some R&D in sort of making product better suited for the issues and realities of your local market, and maybe for the international market as well. So this concludes my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Igor, for your presentation and for the opportunity for other participants to test your product. Feel free to share the link to your demo stand to the chat. I think
certainly will.
This should be useful. And please welcome our next and the last participants. It's Artem Gavrichenko from a company called Curator. Artem, welcome.
Oh, hi, everyone. Can you see the slides? I'm not sharing the screen.
Yeah, it's okay. We can see it.
Cool. So let me introduce our company to you. We are the leading DDoS protection cloud in Eastern Europe. But our business is not limited to Eastern Europe. We are one of the three companies in the world which maintain global BGP monitoring tool, along with Cisco and Oracle. And we have international sales and support. We have points of presence in data centers in United States, Middle East, in Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And we have customers in all those areas. This is the map of our presence. We are currently expanding to South America. With regards to the Asia-Pacific region, I wanted to show you the case we have. This is one of the public cases we have. You might have heard about the e-commerce platform called Lazada, which is now part of Alibaba Group. Well, 3 years ago, Lazada experienced a few DDoS attacks every month, and globally disruptive attack almost every quarter. By globally disruptive, I imply conditions under which attack is causing complications for internet connectivity in the whole region, like in Indonesia or in Singapore. Naturally, whole networks go down because of an attack. So, well, 3 years ago, Lazada's tech department decided that external cloud DDoS protection is necessary because no separate device or on-premises equipment could solve the problem. So just before the big sales days, they elected Curator as a solution of choice. We had around a month to prepare a solution. So what we did in just 3 days were 3 distinct mitigation centers set up in 3 different locations specifically for Lazada. And those centers were connected to the global Curator network for complete DDoS mitigation. We maintained this solution and we've got the feedback from customer, and among the price quality ratio, which is one of the best on the market, and the rapid integration process, the customer highlighted the solution quality. What was actually important for services like Lazada is that even 3 years ago, mobile was already winning over desktop applications. The mobile applications and mobile websites were getting more page views than desktop applications. And our solution was designed and is designed specifically to fit mobile apps and mobile APIs. It doesn't have any invasive technologies like CAPTCHAs. It can be easily integrated with mobile app backends. So it is ready to deal with the applications and mobile focused websites our customers might offer to their clients. Another good example of how we of what we do in this matter is this. You might have heard about the concept of branchless banks. If you open Business Insider or other business-related magazines, they are frequently speaking about branchless banks. Those are banks which don't have any branches, any offices. They don't have ATM machines. They only have an application, and they distribute plastic cards to their customers. And all the management, all the services are being distributed through a mobile application. They say that this is the future of banking, but in Eastern Europe, this is not a distant future. This is a present day and reality. Banks like Tinkoff Bank, which was just going through an acquisition at a $5.5 billion valuation. They don't have any branches. They are operating remotely 100% of their time. And once their server farm is experiencing technical issues, the complete business of the bank just stops. The customers can't get to their accounts, can't pay in shops, can't access their salaries accounts. So the concept of branchless banks heavily depends on uninterrupted business continuity. Tinkoff Bank has been a customer of Curator Labs for 6 years now. And Tinkoff is not just buying a DDoS mitigation tool from us. We offer them a complete online business continuity solution. Our solution for financial organizations features the keyless protection system, which is different from our competitors in that we don't require any encryption keys to be provided, not the RSA keys, not the session keys. We don't need any any access to the encrypted information besides the web server logs, which are and fine-grained control, which is set up and maintained by customer. We can also keep in mind the business-related metrics if the customer is ready to disclose this information. But what's mostly important that with this solution, we don't process any end user data, from personal data to which is now governed by a lot of laws in different jurisdictions. Neither personal data nor financial data is accessible by curator with this solution, but we are still able to mitigate 100% of attacks in seconds. Well, I have a lot of solutions here. We have 3 airlines, 1 airport, different logistics systems. What I wanted to highlight here is that one of our customers is S7 Airlines. Those funny green planes you might have seen somewhere in international airports. And S7 has a partnership with Tinkoff. They have a common product, which is plastic cards for travelers. And this is a product which is completely working at the Curator platform. Our platform and the fiber optic links we manage provide redundancy enough for our customers and partners to interact with each other directly through the local Curator data hub with 100% uptime, effectively eliminating the risks of transmitting data over a public internet. We look at the traffic to classify patterns in that and to detect malicious patterns, to mitigate those in seconds after the first approach, and to help our customers to cope with spikes in traffic and in potential end user issues. We are, among other cases, we are the availability provider of choice of all the leading e-learning applications, because the e-learning is the top trend this year due to coronavirus. We have the most frequently attacked industries among our clients, like Forex or Bitcoin exchanges or betting websites. In Eastern and Western Europe, those are industries mostly vulnerable to DDoS attacks, but we've been doing business with this industry for more than 8 years with no downtime and no issues. And 1 year ago, this is a final case I want to present to you. 1 year ago, 4 large Netherlands-based data centers were experiencing a huge attack of a kind which was only before seen in academic papers. So the possibility of such an attack was outlined theoretically, but the first encounter of such DDoS attack kind in practice happened 1 year ago. And the data centers reach out to us as an experts in this matter, and the attacks were mitigated instantly in hours after the first business contact. though the attack footprint was quite unique, and the complications and the consequences of the attack were already being highlighted in Twitter feeds. So the consequences were always were already public, and they were causing the impact on the public image of those companies. Like I said, we managed to deal with this in a few hours. We also have, like I said, we are one of the only three applications, only three companies which maintain applications for global BGP monitoring, which allows us to build such shiny diagrams about the global connectivity, but we can also do local internet analysis to figure out how vulnerable a region or a country might be to external attacks and to possible internet outages. One of them example of this is United States, which has experienced downtime in 11 states 1.5 years ago, when their largest ISP level 3 went down, leaving 11 states without internet connectivity, but what's mostly important, without the emergency 911 phone service. So for 50 hours, citizens in 11 states couldn't get access to emergency services like medical services or police. Our monitoring service can produce reports on how such issues are likely to happen in different countries in the world. So if you need analysis of that kind, you can reach out to Curator Labs through the contacts that my colleague are, I think they will provide you with. Kirill, thank you for the opportunity to cover the aspects of the solutions we have.
Thank you, Artyom. Thank you for your presentation, and thank you for telling us about such interesting use cases of your solutions. It looks very, very impressive. And actually, there it is. I would like to thank all the participants who take part in our 3-day Russian Technology Days, Russian-Malaysia Technology Days. And especially, I would like to thank Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation for taking part in this event, and especially Russian trade representative Nikita Ponomarenko. Without your support, this event couldn't be possible. I think during these 3 days we lay the great foundation for further development of our relationship, country-to-country relationship, and collaboration of our technology companies and vendors. Thank you, everybody. Have a good time. See you.